Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to demystify a term you hear all the time, machine learning. Now, it might sound a little high-tech, but trust me, it's already a part of your daily life, and we're going to show you exactly how. And just so you know, all the information we're covering today comes directly from Chapter 2 of a fantastic guide called Introduction to Artificial Intelligence for Older Adults by Virtualization Options LLC. It's really designed to make all this technology super easy to grasp. All right, let's jump right in. Here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about the basic idea of learning. Then, we'll see how computers do it. We'll look at a few different methods they use, find it in our everyday lives, and finally, we'll clear up the confusion between AI and machine learning. So, first things first, what is machine learning, really? Well, at its heart, it's all about learning from experience. Think about learning any new skill, like gardening or maybe trying a new recipe. You don't start out perfect, right? You learn from experience what works and what doesn't. Machine learning is that exact same idea, but for computers. So instead of a person having to write out a giant, complicated instruction manual for every single thing a computer might encounter, we just let the computer learn by looking at a ton of examples. It starts to figure out the patterns all on its own, learning what to do instead of just following a rigid list of rules. This analogy here is just perfect. When you teach a child to recognize a bird, you don't give them a textbook of wing measurements and beak shapes, right? Of course not. You just show them lots of pictures of birds until they start to get it. That is the absolute core of machine learning, recognizing patterns by seeing lots and lots of examples. Okay, so how does this whole learning process actually work for a machine? Well, it's not magic, not at all. It's really just a simple, logical process that makes a whole lot of sense when you break it down. It basically happens in 4 steps. First, the computer gets fed a ton of examples, let's say thousands of photos of cats. Then, it starts looking for common patterns in all those pictures, things like pointy ears and whiskers. After that, it uses those patterns to make a guess or a prediction on a brand new photo. And finally, this is the important part, if it gets one wrong, it learns from that mistake and adjusts itself, getting more and more accurate over time. Now, just like we can learn in different ways, say from a teacher in a classroom or just by trying things out on our own, machines also have a few different learning styles that are good for different kinds of jobs. There are a few different ways machines can learn, but for today, we're just going to focus on the 2 you'll probably encounter the most, supervised learning and reinforcement learning. Think of them as different tools for different projects. Supervised learning is the most common, and it's kind of like having a teacher who labels everything for you. The computer sees thousands of photos that are already marked cat or dog. Reinforcement learning, on the other hand, is more like learning by doing. A great example is a robot vacuum cleaner. It gets better at cleaning your living room by trying different paths and learning which ones are the fastest, getting a sort of reward for doing a good job. So here's the most important thing to take away from all this. This is not science fiction. It's not something that's way off in the future. You are already using this technology every single day, and you probably don't even realize it. Let's take a look at a few examples of machine learning that are probably working for you right now. I have a feeling a couple of these might surprise you. For starters, think about your email inbox. How does it know to put all that junk mail in a separate folder? Or how your phone can automatically group pictures of your grandkids together? Even a smartwatch that tracks your health and learns your normal heart rate. Yep, that's all machine learning in action. And this is a really, really important one because it's about keeping you safe. Your email spam filter has learned from literally millions of examples of junk mail. It recognizes the patterns, like suspicious links or those urgent requests for money, and it catches dangerous scam emails before you even see them. This is a huge help for everyone, especially older adults who are often targeted by financial scams online. Okay, for our last section, let's clear up one of the biggest points of confusion out there. What's the difference between artificial intelligence, or AI, and machine learning? People use these terms all the time, sometimes as if they're the same thing, but they're not quite. The easiest way to think about it is this. AI is the big broad goal. It's the whole idea of making machines smarter and more helpful. Machine learning is one of the most powerful ways we achieve that goal. So you could say that all machine learning is a type of AI, but not all AI uses machine learning. And that's really why you hear the 2 terms together so often. Because for all practical purposes, when you hear someone talking about a new AI today, they're almost always talking about a system that's powered by machine learning. It's really the engine that makes so much of modern AI possible. So by understanding these basics, you can start to see how this technology is working all around you. It's not some kind of magic to be afraid of, but a really powerful tool to understand. Now that you know what to look for, where else do you see machine learning helping out in your world? Thanks for joining us for this explainer.